Okay, so the first thing I want to do is get everything ready to go. So I've got my half sheet printed paper, I've got my drawing paper, and I've got my tape, and I want to make sure that I get the face set down on the page so that I have half on the right. So I'm just going to tape it down with a little bit of Scotch tape here, and then top and bottom. I can always trim off the side later. But what I'm going to do then is have the left side of my paper as my drawing space, right? So I'm just trying to copy everything that I see proportionately accurate from the right side to the left. So one of the tricks of the trade is to, like if let's say I wanted to plot the point of this eye right here, right? I'm just going to take my ruler and measure from the middle of the paper, is always my starting point because that's halfway, and just get a mark on that point of the eye, the inner eye there, on my ruler. So I'll actually make a little mark on the ruler. It's about 3/4 of an inch. So then from there I can go 3/4 of an inch over from the middle of the page, okay, and that is going to be exactly where I want to plot that point. So I'm lining my ruler up equidistant here to that point from the middle of the page where I made that pencil mark, and I know that's the little dot I'm going to make for the inner of my eye on the left side. Okay, and I'm going to go through this process. So now what I want to do is mark the outer dot of her eye. So from the middle of the page, horizontally across, and it's okay if I draw on her face, right? I'm just plotting the points here. So of course I've got my ruler at the middle of the page, and then I make that little pencil mark on my ruler, and it's about 2 plus 1, 2, 3 notches. Okay, so I'm going to take that pencil mark that I made on my ruler, put it in the middle of the page over here, in line with the dot I made for my outer eye. So I'm making sure it's in the same line here across the page. I don't want to put it too low or too high. So that pencil line I made is right in line with it in the middle of the page, and I'm going to plot that point back here at 0. Now that right there, what I've created, is going to be what I can do to shape her eye. So that top kind of football line, right, and that bottom. So now I'm just trying to copy the shape. So if you want to plot more points, you can. If you want to plot the bottom of the eye in the middle, the top of the eye in the middle. So what I would do is over on the right-hand side, on the actual Xerox copy, maybe plot a couple of different points that are important to you. So right now when I look at her eyebrow, the bottom left, the top left, and then obviously the outer right. So those 3 points create that arc that I would like to then copy back over here. So I can plot those points over on this side using my ruler. Okay, the next thing that I need is obviously to shape out the head. Okay, so I really want to plot the corner of her hairline where it meets her ear right here. This is an important spot. Okay, obviously the top of the head is easy because if you see here, I just have to continue that line. Okay, so I probably want to plot a point about, you know, in the middle of this arc here of her head. So I'll kind of plot that point over here. So I'm just looking at her hairline here as well, so I know that I can just kind of complete that mark over this way. And so now I have her hairline, I have the top of her head, and I've just, you know, kind of added in those lines. But I do want to plot the point across from her hairline here. So just show you guys, it is at 2 and just past a half. And if I go straight across from there, put that ruler in the middle, and I said it's just past 2.5. Now I got to remember where I put all these lines on the ruler so I don't get confused. And I'm looking at this point right here, and there we go, back to 0 over on this side. I put that point down, and I know that's where I'm just going to kind of, and I like to use like a dotted pencil line to do this so that I can just kind of recreate the shape of her head there. I'm going to work my way down. I'll turn this paper so you can see it a little bit better. I'm going to work my way down and around and plot all those points. Okay, then I'm using the points to map out her face. Then it just becomes a coloring project, right, of getting all of the values that you see over here to match. So when I start to shade in the color of her hair, that's obviously the darkest. So I can really fill that quickly with my darkest color. Okay, then the flesh tones, you have to really search and look for where there are areas of highlight areas of mid-tone, and then obviously areas of shadow where it gets much darker in and around the eyes, below the nose, below the mouth here in the chin area. So you're really just searching for those values and then coloring it in once you have created obviously the hairline, headline, ear line. You're going to do your eyebrow, your eye, make those little nostrils right in here. So I like going to the nose because you just have to match. You don't even take much plotting on this one. You're just matching what you see from right to left. Okay, and then of course the lips are very easy to do too because you can just kind of continue. You only really need to plot the corner of the lips where the top and the bottom meet and end there. Okay, and you might want to also add in obviously some shading below. Okay, and then our chin line just continues here. So really, you just need to plot points over on your left side so that you know where to end your marks. Okay? All right, that should do it.